Hi everyone, I'm Christy McCammon and I share tips, tricks, and recipes to help you on your journey towards food freedom. Today I'm going to share with you the tools I use to stick to my food plan. I do Brightline Eating, but there's a lot of food plans that follow these guidelines. No sugar, no flour, 3 meals a day, and measured portions. And I have some tools that I use and have come to love over time that I just want to share with you that help me be successful for the most part. I'm not 100% successful always, of course, but that help me stick to my food plan. About 3 years ago, I said a desperate prayer to the Lord in desperation of I needed a plan to help me manage my relationship with food. I had felt very obsessed and my weight was increasing and I just needed some boundaries and guidelines and help. And at that point, I came across the idea of Brightline Eating. And so that is two of my key tools. Number one, the Bible, my relationship with the Lord, prayer. Number two, the gift of Brightline Eating. And so the first thing I'll share is the book, Brightline Eating by Susan Peirce Thompson. It's truly an incredible book that teaches the science behind food addiction and how to solve it and how to build up our willpower and all of those things. So this is kind of the big tool. Number one, my Bible, this is a big one. It's a study one. But number two, the Brightline Eating book. And then I did buy the Brightline Eating cookbook, which is great recipes for Brightline Eating for no sugar, no flour, 3 meals, and measured portions. So it's laid out simple and really fun, simple recipes and some really trickier ones too that are really good. The next thing is a devotional that I really love. It's called Satisfied. It's by Rona Epstein, and she has several books, but this is just a simple devotional, has a Bible verse and then a story and then some places to journal. And as you journal, I do believe that the thoughts from our head come through our arm down to our hand on paper, and we get different things when we actually write it out. We really understand what we're feeling sometimes. This is great, and I always have a journal on hand also. So any journal will do. The dollar store has journals. You can get fancy journals. I happen to have these particular ones on my website if you're at all interested, but any journal will do. Just some place to journal your thoughts. And a lot of people are concerned about journaling because someone might see it. I have the same concerns. And if I ever journal something that's really vulnerable and really private, burn it, throw it out, shred it. But you get your thoughts out of your head onto paper. I also use a food journal. I document my food. I write it down. That's the recommendation, that it's written down the night before or the morning of, before you eat that day. So I have every day for the past 1,200 days. Well, actually more than that. So 3 years I've been doing this food plan. So these are the dollar store, $1, okay? Super cheap, super simple. And I lay out my food plan, breakfast, lunch, and dinner, what I'm gonna have each day, either the night before or the morning of. But the rule for me is before I start food for that day. So get something that you like. I also have a journal that I use now. I have a 100-day journal. I like to keep track of 100 days at a time. And these, I designed these because I really wanted to have something simple with everything written out. So breakfast, lunch, dinner, you can track your water, thoughts and feelings, and what you're thankful for. So I wanted something rather than a gratitude journal and a bigger journal and a 5-year journal, which I love all those things, but I wasn't doing all those. And so I figured if I had everything in one place, I would actually be successful. So whatever works for you. Bottom line is have a journal to write out your food plan for the day before you start eating. And then I do have, because I like to do 100 days, I track 100 days at a time. So I always have this 100-day chart. Some of you have seen my video on the 100 days. And I keep this in my bathroom. I've explained to you some are ugly, some are beautiful. Doesn't really matter. Track it so you know how you're doing. If that works for you. If it doesn't work for you, don't do it. Just go one day at a time. But I like to have this. After I write my food and plan my food and evaluate what I'm going to have for the day, I use a scale to make sure that's what I'm actually doing. It just builds integrity and honesty with myself that I've laid out a plan and I'm going to stick to it. So if I said I'm going to eat 4 ounces of turkey or chicken or an ounce of oats, that's what I do. So the scale is on my counter, and that is very important to have, very useful. The next tool that I think is important to either have or not have, that's up to you, is a body scale. If it were up to me, we wouldn't even have body scales in the world, to be honest with you, because we know if we're doing well, we know if we're sticking to a food plan, we know if our clothes are tight, we know how we feel. However, I don't know the data on this, but I would venture to say in America, a very high percentage of people own a body scale. If you don't, awesome, don't bother. If you do, I think it's important to weigh not every day. That's just my thought. I try and weigh every 10 days. So like on my 100-day chart, at the end of every 10 days, I weigh, and I use it for data. I don't use it to determine my worth, because I am worthy, you are worthy, regardless of what that scale says, regardless of how high or how low that number is. It is irrelevant to our worth and our beauty. So food for thought. But if you do have one, try not to use it too much. I have a simple one, hop on every 10 days, that's it. I think once a month is even better, but whatever works for you. But whatever you do, remember, it's just a number. I also like to keep an emergency food bag in my car, wherever I'm at. And I did a whole video on that. So if you want to learn about what I keep in my emergency food bag, so if I show up somewhere and there's not food that I can eat, or everything's not compliant, I have some protein and vegetables that I just keep in my car. This is my bag. Nobody else needs to get into it. It's nice and small enough that I can just tuck it somewhere. My very talented friend, Kimberly, made these, and I actually do have those on my website also. I had several people asking. So if you're interested, I have a couple choices on my website, but any bag will do. Again, you do not have to use this bag. Just find a bag and get an emergency food stash. If you didn't see that video, you got to check it out and see what would be some good ideas to have in that. So that way you're not caught empty-handed and you still can have a successful meal. A lot of us and a lot of people in America eat out of bags and boxes and packages. And I did that as well. I did do a lot of home cooked meals over the years and make a lot of homemade stuff, but generally we ate on paper plates sometimes, and I would just grab something quick to go. And now I sit down with my meal and I eat and enjoy it. And we still eat on paper plates sometimes. I have a family of 7, so that makes sense sometimes. So in any event, when I'm sitting down for lunch or I'm sitting down for breakfast, I get a real plate and I sit. So I love having pretty little plates that are mine, that I just enjoy my breakfast on. And it just makes me feel like I'm sitting down to something special. And I think meals are something special. God designed our body to get hungry and to eat. So there's nothing wrong with enjoying a meal. I just do it on prettier plates sometimes. I also have mugs that I like. Find a couple good mugs that you love. Most of us have mugs galore, but that have a neat saying on it, or something fun, or something motivational, or pretty flowers. And then I drink a lot of tea. So don't drink any soda or any alcohol or anything like that. So my drink of choice is either sparkling water or a tea. So I have my favorite teas. There is a zillion, not quite a zillion, but a lot of teas on the market that try out. Find your favorites. And when you are in the afternoon slump or you are craving food, grab a cup of tea and sit for 5 minutes. That's all it takes, is 5 minutes to regroup, build up some strength for the afternoon or the evening or whatever's coming next. So these are 2 of my favorite teas: hot cinnamon sunset and wild sweet orange. But there's a ton, and I know we all love our tea. And then I love, this is my 3 o'clock afternoon tool. Every day, pretty much, have some sort of sparkling water drink. Bubbly, LaCroix, AHA. There's so many on the market now. Find one that you love. And for me, around 3 o'clock every day, I start getting hungry and tempted and thinking about food. So I go to my refrigerator and I have a sparkling water. And it usually takes the edge off, takes my mind off, and then I get to what I'm doing. And then I wait for my meal that's coming at dinner. I have a couple apps on my phone that I really like also that I'll share with you. But I forgot to share, I want to show you this one book, Atomic Habits. It's a really cool book on cementing habits and how to do that. So I encourage you to read it if you haven't. For me, I knew it needed to be a habit, a lifestyle, a commitment to change the way I ate in order to stay free from food addiction and food obsession and just food thoughts. I knew it was an issue and I didn't want that. So this is a great book to help cement those new habits that you're making. A couple apps that I love are Well, there's so many. Y'all love apps, right? There's so many. But there's a couple that I have used regularly in my toolbox. There is one called I Deserve a Donut. Now, this sounds weird, but in our default, when things are going stressful or hard or frustrating, we think, oh, I deserve something, right? Don't you think that? Oh, I deserve a break. And every marketing genius has come up with every sweet place, every fast food place, you deserve a break. You deserve this cupcake. You deserve this donut. Guess what? What we deserve is to pause and feed our soul, not that donut that's gone in a second and only leaves us wanting more. So this app is uniquely called I Deserve a Donut, and it's designed where you go on it and so look that up, but like emotions that make you eat. For instance, let's say you're feeling envy or anger. There's all of these: greed, lust, insecurity, judgment, pride. So let's say I'm feeling prideful. Click on pride. And then there's 4 questions. Actually, there in this particular one, there's 8 questions. And then it talks about possible things we need to accept, ways to journal, maybe things we need to confess, and then all the Bible verses related to that. It is so cool. And if we can remember, that's the key, remembering when we're in the midst of a temptation to get to our phone. Remember to get to our phone for a lot of other things, right? I get to my phone for checking emails, all the dings and buzzes that go off. But when I'm struggling, I need to get in this app and check it out. If that's not for you, don't do that one, but find something that really works to feed your soul, to get you out of the slump, out of the moment, out of the temptation, because once you're out, you're out. And you can be free to continue about your day. You may already use all these tools, some of these tools, great. If you do, you are on the way to success and cementing this lifestyle. If not, and there's something that you want to add to your arsenal, add it. Add to your line of defense to keep your food in its rightful place. If you want to find out more, you can go to my website at www.lifeunbinged.com. I hope you enjoyed the video. Thanks for watching, and don't forget to like and subscribe.